Welcome back to the Rugby Connection podcast. Round 3 of the TikTok Women's Six Nations is far behind us. Champions Cup return this week and the Challenge Cup this week, so we are stacked full this week. Joining us this week, it was meant to be Charlie, but scheduling conflict. She will be with us next week, I promise. Joining us this week, she's also on TikTok. She was at the Women's Six Nations launch. It's Anja, or Ange Bange 2 on TikTok.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming on. How are we getting on?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Not too bad. All good. Just getting better from COVID, but apart from that, I'm great.
I mean, you've
Fantastic.
had a lot of rugby to watch during the weekends.
It's been great. It's been great. And what better way to fill the time, you know?
Exactly.
We all love rugby. We all love rugby.
Exactly. I mean, starting off strong. What a game. England, Wales. 58 points to 5. It was only 19-0 at half time, but record attendance.
It was actually insane, and the annoying thing is I had tickets to go and I couldn't go because of COVID, so I was like killing myself. But it was great. Like I thought in the first 10-15 minutes, Wales really shook up. Although the scoreline suggests differently, I think Wales really shook up England. It was looking quite level, almost level-headed for the first kind of 10-15 minutes. Then unfortunately Abby Dow had an injury, and I think that allowed some time for some regrouping and things like that. But it was a pretty tense match. It was good.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it was tense. I still need to proper go back and watch it to do my team of the week sort of thing. But yeah. I mean, 21 straight wins for the Red Roses.
They are looking strong, aren't they? They're looking very strong. So far they've played two teams that don't have any kind of professional contracts. Wales have 12, but it'll be really interesting. It'll be really interesting to watch. I think England and France, that'll be a really, really close competitions. But it was still a really good game. I still thought it was, up until about half time, you weren't really sure he was gonna have it, I don't think. So yeah, it was good.
No, that's fair. I mean, and obviously the big one, the record attendance, that's
you can't beat that. And literally watching it on the TV, you could literally see there was not really any. You couldn't really see any free seats. It looked absolutely, packed, which is just insane. What an opportunity for those women to be able to play in front of a crowd like that. There's nothing quite like having a full stadium, is there? So it's absolutely incredible. But my rugby team were there, and the camera kept panning to them, so we kept looking out for the hats in the crowd. But it was good. It looked amazing.
That's brilliant.
But that also doesn't take into consideration also all the people that are probably watching at home. There must have been, So on top of that, it's just huge. The game's growing exponentially, and it's great. It's great to see.
It is, and again, I spoke about it with Gemma last week. People are like, "Oh, who cares?"
Yeah,
I care. That's what I'm talking about.
And me and Gemma have that conversation all the time. Oh, people say who cares, but clearly the sold out stadium care, and I know everyone who watches it at home, and the BBC wouldn't stream it if people didn't care, so clearly they do. So
exactly it. Yeah, it's
maybe not. Yeah,
I'm always one if I didn't care, I wouldn't talk about it, and
yeah,
I'm not doing that. I'm not just doing this because it's happening right now. I genuinely like it, and
but this is also what our sport needs is more. Is people like you, more male kind of ambassadors for the sport, and just being look, yeah, actually I do watch it, and it is good to watch, and it's good rugby, and more people coming out and saying that is only better for the sport, and it only grows the sport. Being an ally, I think, is a big thing that is being talked about at the moment. Sharing women's rugby things on your social media, just talking about it, it's great. It's good.
It is. I mean, I was actually moving on to the next game. I was actually in Scotstoun, in Glasgow yesterday for the Scotland-France game. The scoreline, I know France got a bonus point, but Scotland won the second half.
I watched that game. So I was like, I think I tuned in a couple of minutes late because I was just doing some housework and I forgot. And so I ran to the TV, and so I caught at the end of the second half, and France were looking quite, like you say, quite dominant at that point, as you kind of think they probably would be. And then Scotland just in the second half just came out, and some of their plays were just phenomenal, and they had an unlucky fumble where I thought they were going to get a second. But but they were just great. They were just good. They looked insane in the second half. So
Yeah,
I'll give them something
I
to build
mean,
on.
I can't not talk about Laurie Sanus, the French scrum half. I don't know
Oh,
what it is this year with French and scrum half. They're just top tier.
I literally saw a post about this the other day, and I was like, the two best scrum halves in the world right now are those two, and I just think she's having an incredible Six Nations so far. I mean, some of the plays she's creating, she just reads the game so well as well. Like she blows my mind. I'm gonna say she's always on my fantasy team. I always I always put her in there, and she's done well so far. So
I actually forgot to do my fantasy team this year, so I've ruled myself out of the women's one, sadly. But I keep my eyes on it. I do a team of the week every week, so that's always fun. But we got to meet a lot of the players after the game, and we met TikTok legend Curtis.
He's so nice.
He is.
He's so nice. We met him at the TikTok launch, and he was he's like just such a nice guy. You know what I mean? Like you just get to meet him, and he's exactly how he is on TikTok. And he's so funny. He's great.
Well, we got there early because I've never actually drove to where Scotstoun is, so I was like, right, I'll get there a little bit early just to be on the safer side. And he was walking down to actually start the live on TikTok.
Yeah.
I just went, Cart, and he went, oh hey man, and like shook my hand and gave me a hug and everything. Like, I'm loving this.
Oh, he's such a nice bloke. He's got so much time for everyone. But I also just think I think Scotland's such a nice place to. It looks like such a cool place to play. I like that. Yeah, it was quite.
I'm an Edinburgh fan, so I'm not saying much.
Well, yeah, okay, fair enough.
It is a quite nice stadium though, but.
Yeah, I like how this year they're just moving about from state, like especially with the English ones, they're moving about from stadium to stadium, and it's quite nice.
Yeah.
It gives different clubs an opportunity to be part of that, so that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we did meet a lot of the players at the end of the game.
Yeah.
We met Rachel Malcolm. We met the Scotland captain.
Lovely. She's lovely again. She's so nice. I met her at the launch. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you would have. And I met the lovely Rona Lloyd, who we've actually had. We've had Rona Lloyd on the show as a guest before Christmas, and yeah, had a nice little catch up with her. Met Helen Nelson.
Do you know what? The Scottish team just seems so like it just seems not that no one else does.
Yeah.
I see Rona's always on TikTok.
Yeah.
She's a semi-TikToker herself, I think. And I'm always catching her footage. But like, yeah. Although obviously I am English, I do believe my family have some Scottish heritage. So I feel like Scotland are like my second team.
Fair.
I do root for them a little bit. So I would say that.
I mean, if you were fortunate enough to go to the game, you would have got this nice little bracelet.
Don't rub in the COVID anymore. Like I'd love to have gone to all the I would love to have gone to all the games. So I'm a big fan. Like generally I try to get to as many as I can when I can, but unfortunately after 2 years it got me. So
yeah, I got it in January, so I say I got it. I tested positive, but there was nothing really there. So
you didn't get anything? Oh,
I got a block nose. That was it. I'm like, I can't go outside because of a block nose. That's perfect.
Yeah, so having said that, I think Scotland looked really strong in that second half.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And I think, and I said this to Gemma last week, I think I said to Amy in week one, just give the girls pro contracts. Just do it. Like, they are quite clearly good enough.
Yeah. And it makes a difference.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does.
You know, like I've seen what some of these girls go through where they're, you know, working full-time jobs and going like get training and driving like halfway across the country and like 3 hours there, 3 hours back, and they're getting up again in the morning, and it's just not feasible. Like no one is gonna be able to perform their best doing that every day when they can't concentrate on the thing that they need to be, you know, fully committed to. It just needs to be backed.
Exactly.
There's just no option now, you know.
Just even do what Wales did, just to get the foot in the door and just select a handful.
Yeah.
But just get them job, give them the money. They deserve it.
They talked about it, the guy, they were talking about it at the England-Wales game in half time or something, and just saying, you know, they want, and I know they've started with 12 contracts in Wales, but they want to push it to more. They're just doing it step by step. Like, you know, I think we're not asking for anything unrealistic. We're not asking for it to change overnight. You know, these things take time, but just little steps in the right direction will make a difference, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think, like I said earlier, I didn't believe in it. I wouldn't say it, but I'm fully up for it. Like, just give them. Like, Rhoda Lloyd is genuinely a professional player anyway, because she's based in France. But I think there's only 3, maybe 4 out of this full Scotland team that are actually professional. So
yeah, and that just means that all these guys are working full-time jobs, and some of them are like, you know, was it like Simi Pam again, who plays for Bristol? She's a doctor, and you see it, and she works like ridiculous hours and is playing, you know, full-time rugby, and that's just got to be so draining at some point, isn't it? You know, like you're asking these guys to do so much, and so just that little bit of help, it goes along. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that Rachel Malcolm, like the actual captain of Scotland, is a lecturer. She's not even a professional player. So
no, I know, and that's wild, isn't it? Because that would never be the same. That would never be the same in a men's game. So like, it just needs to. We're not asking for more. We're just asking for equality. Does that make sense? We're not asking for anything. I don't think that's. We're asking for bare minimum, if anything. You know, it's not a huge chunk out of their pocket. So anyway,
I think I used the example of the way the women are seen as professional. Does that mean and by that standard, does that mean I'm a professional player?
Yeah, because we all go and play and do a full-time job, same as what we're, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I think we could talk about that all day.
Yeah, that's another conversation for another day.
Moving on to Ireland versus Italy. Ireland came out strong for this game, 29-8.
And I've always been backing them. I've always thought they've had a tough couple of first games. I think the first game was against Wales. I think it was. They just kind of lost it in that second half. And then like a really tough week against, it was France, wasn't it? Yeah, and I just think they deserved the win. They have been grinding hard. They have, and like I said, there's no pressure on them. I mean, they didn't, you know, obviously they sadly didn't qualify for the World Cup. So, but I believe Scotland did. So, like, but you know, they've got no pressure on them to be performing. They're a new team and they're developing. They've lost quite a few of, you know, like, you know, quite a few good players like Lindsay Peake, you know, retiring, things like that. So yeah, I think they looked really strong. I think they did. Yeah. Sam making some huge. I think she got player of the match, making some huge carries. She was an absolute unit. Yeah, they looked great. I just watching them play. And
our friend Amy was doing the TikTok coverage as well. So
we love Amy, and she got some good content yesterday. She did. I was watching her, absolutely smashing it and loving life. And she is, and she will always say is an Ireland fan through and through.
Yeah.
It's not. She loves it. I love her for it. She's funny. She's so funny.
I mean, I did manage to steal some content yesterday with Kurt. I got him to do a pre-match thing, and you got to. Everyone loved it.
It's the best thing about the TikTok is like you could just grab us and we'd all probably happily do something with you, make a video, and it would be like mid game. I think like the funniest thing is like a lot of us in this, like specifically, well, even like just a lot of the TikTok women, we all just started it as a laugh, something to like. We all just started it a bit of a joke, something to do. Just doing, like me, for example, I literally started doing it in October last year as just a like just a silly little thing, and it's just grown ridiculously. And like just being on, like, for example, like I was mid game. We were playing Ivy Bridge, I think. I was mid game, and I was just getting into. We were just going into a line out, and this girl was just looking at me, and I was like, "Why is this girl just just making intense eye contact?" And I was like, "Why is she?" And she was like, "Are you the girl from TikTok?" And I was like, "Yeah." But like, it just doesn't happen. Like, it's so funny. Like, it's just. But yeah, they're lovely. They're all a great bunch of girls.
Yeah, I'm at that weird stage now. I've had people ask for my picture, and it's very strange because I'm like, I'm not famous. I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, we're actually at a rugby game, like where the professionals are, and you're turning around looking at me asking for a photo. I'm like, going.
Yeah, it's so nice. It's so nice though. But I think the important thing is like I'm not anyone special. I'm just like the average girl. Like I literally just play rugby on a Sunday in our league. Actually, so Gemma, Prop Life.
Yeah.
We play in the same league, so that's quite fun. So it's always nice to see her like her on the pitch, and Charlie as well. Actually, Charlie sometimes plays for Clumpton, so yeah, it's nice. It's just a nice like little rugby community thing, It's
I've never had anyone notice me during a game yet, like what happened to you, like the intense stare down. I did have like an intense like captain's run before a game, and the scrum half came up to me, and I thought he was going to tell me what play we were doing.
Yeah. And
he just went, "You came up on my For You page." I was like, "All right, like cool, man. Like, what are we doing next?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't know yet, but I've seen your stuff."
No, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's go on with it.
I sometimes forget, and I sometimes forget that other people can see it. So I make them, I think they're really funny, and I put them on, and then people are like, "Oh, I really love to watch TikTok," and I'm like, "Oh God, like you saw it." But it's just been fun, and I'm just kind of like enjoying the ride of it. I think that's the most important thing, not taking it too seriously and just enjoying it. Yeah.
I think I've made some friends for life, and even when we interview like the players, we get more friends. Like, actually leading into this, I went to the Edinburgh POW game on Friday night for the Challenge Cup, and Jamie Hodgson, Scotland international, was on the bench. I shouted him across because we had him on the show, and I've never actually seen him in person yet, just because of COVID, and I've just not been at all the games. He said hiya and went to one. I was like, right, that's fine. He's acknowledged it. I'll accept it.
Yeah.
2 minutes later, he jumps the barrier and shakes my hand and gives me a hug and just stands texting, and I'm like, this isn't real. Like, there's no way.
Cool.
It's so weird, but
it's so nice.
It is amazing. And like I said, like Rona Lloyd, we've had Rona on the show, and I've seen her. I got a picture with her at the England game. Got one with the France game, and we just talk now. Like it's like I don't know how I've got to the stage where I could message professional.
So cool though. How amazing is that though? That you can just message a professional rugby player, but they are, weirdly enough, and I think we all forget that they are just normal people. So like they love to just have a conversation, and it was really nice that TikTok launch thing which like for me that was like another insane moment to even be considered to be invited to. Like I was just there, like I just was like I was like, this is very cool. I didn't ever expect anything like this. And just getting to know the players like just one-on-one and having some conversations with them, and they were all so lovely. It was a great day. And just like you say, like just meeting everyone else. Like everyone is just as nice as they seem. I think that's the thing. And like Stella, Gemma.
Yeah, I don't think I've had anyone I've been like,
Don't like not, you.
Yeah.
Everyone's good. Everyone's good vibes.
I think there might be one, but I won't say it while we're recording.
Name and shame.
No, I won't name and shame. I'll name and shame after. I'll name and shame after.
That's fine. Yeah, you can tell me. I'll probably think the same thing, but
yeah, that's fine. That's fine then. But yeah, the Challenge Cup. All Edinburgh had to do on Friday night was beat Poe, and they won 54 points to 5. Like absolutely unreal.
Not even a close contest, really. No. Like, was it? You were there. Was the atmosphere good?
It was good. Yeah, it didn't. They said the attendance at the end. Now, every game I've been to at Edinburgh's new Dam Health Stadium, or I just call it the Dam, because I don't like calling it the Dam Health because it sounds stupid.
Yeah, you get that.
Says it holds just under 8,000. Now, every game I've been to, it's never been sold out.
Yeah, okay.
It's always been about 6,500, which is still good.
Yeah.
But it felt a lot less. I don't know why. I'm looking around and there was no one particularly there. And then they said, like, thank you to all 6,100 tonight. I'm like, there's no way there's that many people here.
Yeah.
But
sometimes I do think they get it wrong sometimes. Sometimes
I think they count how many tickets have been bought.
Yeah. Not how many people have turned up. Yeah.
But it was a brilliant game.
at least you got to go. I think that's the biggest thing. Like after this whole COVID thing, I think it's just so nice to be out watching rugby. I think like I missed my opportunity this weekend. That was my opportunity, but like I think it's great just to be out there and experiencing it again. Like I was sort of sorry for the the GB team who went to the Olympics to play, and there was absolutely no crowd, and that must be such a surreal experience in itself. But like, it's so nice to be back out there and watching it. And
just you need rugby. You need to be at the rugby.
Yeah,
I get watching on TV, but it's not the same.
It's not the same, and there's nothing quite like going up with friends and having a couple of pints and watching the rugby and just like enjoying the day out. Is there like it was such a nice like sunny day for the England Wales game.
Yeah, it looked beautiful weather down there.
It looked beautiful, and that's what made it worse. I was like, oh, it looks so like if it was raining or like really windy, I'd be like, oh, I'm okay being inside. And then it was just like a really nice day. There was a huge crowd. Like I was like, oh,
thanks.
I was like, but anyway, yeah.
Saracens also got a big win in the Challenge Cup, so they advance. I think the Challenge Cup's weird. I'm not a big. I know, like I'm a big Edinburgh fan. I know that they're in it, but like you look at the group stage and you could already kind of point out who's going through.
Who's going to win?
Yeah.
I know it sounds bad. I don't follow it as much as I probably should do, if that makes sense. I follow the Premiership, and I always like love watching that. And then the Challenge Cup, yeah, like I think it just. Well, there's been some close games this weekend, though, if I believe, hasn't there? There was some.
There's close games in the Champions Cup, yeah.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, that was Championship. Yeah, so no, I haven't really watched the Challenge Cup. There's not enough time in the day.
No, there's not.
I've watched so many games of rugby recently. I'm losing track. But yeah, Saracens, they are a strong team. They are looking strong. But I am and I have to say this, just because my dad supports them, I am a Quins girl. And I do have a big crush on Joe Marler because he is.
You can actually answer this thing, because my mum is obsessed with Joe Marler. What is it about him?
It's just, I can't. It's like one of those unsaid things. I don't know what it is. And I'll tell everyone in my club knows this. Everyone who ever met me knows how much of a crush I have on Joe Marler. I just think he's hilarious. I think it's got something to do with the fact I just think he's hilarious. And
because
it's the hair, it's the personality, it's the game day outfits. I don't know if you've seen those. Like,
yeah, I got asked to do a video based on that.
Did you actually?
Yeah, when I had COVID, instead of just being like, here's every rugby top I've got, I did one, and then I got people commenting like, do you have this team? Do you have that team? And I've done like part, I don't know, 45 or something now. It's silly if I've got this team. And somebody went, could you dress like Joe Marler? So I had to, I was like,
Please.
What do you mean? I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, wear something that Joe Marler would wear to the game. So I did. Boohoo Man comes in. What did you
end up going for? What was it in the end? What was your?
Oh God.
Was it like
is it a tie-dye or stuff?
Oh yeah, nice.
So it was like a pink, purple t-shirt, matching shorts, but it had Looney Tunes on it. It had Daffy Duck on the t-shirt. It had Bugs Bunny down the shorts. And then there was like a tie-dye jumper and matching shorts, like a galaxy color.
That's so cool. That is very cool. Do you know what? I might turn up tomorrow next season. Might go to our first away game, something similar, just to make you feel more cool about the fact you've done it. I'll do it.
It's such a strange request. I was like, I don't know how I'm meant to do this, but yeah, we'll go for it.
It's just also like just the way he just doesn't care. Do you know what I mean? Like he just does it. He just owns it, and you've got to respect that. I think that's so cool.
I don't know if you've seen, but have you seen the Step 1 advert that he's in?
Yeah, I saw on TikTok the other day. Brilliant.
Like he's in a big, over dramatic dressing gown, and it's just because I'm out here being like a boss, and he just like chucks a mannequin, and then why do I feel that there was no script? That's just like go.
I feel like there's no script ever with Joe Marler. I feel like you could give Joe Marler a script and he probably wouldn't stick to the script. So great guy. Great guy.
All I could think about is when Quins won the Prem last year and the press conference, the shush.
Yeah. It just is so funny. Or when he did that interview where it made absolutely no sense. Like, we're going to take the horse to the water, and he just kept talking, and I was like, brilliant. Like,
it's actually funny that you mentioned that. So, like, for birthdays and Christmases, I'll wrap the present.
Yeah.
But instead of just saying to Anja, happy birthday from Murray,
yeah.
I would go to Anja and then write something that's like a hint or a link to what it is.
Yeah.
So my mum's obsessed with Joe Marler, so I got her the book for Christmas, and it says like, to Mum, Merry Christmas, and then it's the horse quote, and she's reading it. She's like, "What are you on about?" And I'm like,
"What are you doing?"
Yeah, she's like, I was like, "Just open it," and she did it, and she loved it.
That's great. That's fantastic. I think, I love him. Biggest fan. So if Joe Marler watches this, please.
If Joe Marler watches this, he's coming on. That's all I'm saying.
Please. Yeah. And if you could have me, if I could come in on that one.
Yeah, I mean, you're part of Rugby Connection now, so that's fine.
Yeah, please, thank you. I'll just sort that out. Glad we've arranged that.
Because there has been the issue that, like, I don't know how it gets linked. So, girls like Joe Marler, and they like Dan Carter. Now, I get why they like Dan Carter, because Dan Carter, let's be honest, he's a good-looking lad.
Yeah.
But
it's not for me.
They're very... No.
Joe Marler. Do you know what? Joe Marler and the second one, there's two. Joe Marler and Jack Noel.
I like Jack Noel.
Yeah, you see? Yeah.
But I'm a teacher.
I don't know what. I don't know why. I'm not sure. I can't answer these questions. I just think they're great guys.
The heart wants.
Yeah. And I think if I feel like if I was a man, I'd probably be more similar to Joe Marler. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I think. So I'm a prop. So I think it's like the prop love. You know what I mean?
I dress like Joe Marler, but I don't care.
Don't care. It's great. Love him.
But when I do like the podcast or that, I talk in a bit more controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not just going off the rails and.
Yeah, sorry. Let's bring it back to the rugby. Sorry, I just wanted to drop my Joe Marler speech. Yeah,
the appreciation post. There you go.
Absolutely.
Champions Cup again. My beloved Exeter Chiefs narrowly beating Munster at Sandy Park, but not even taking away the result. Stuart Hogg's 50-metre drop goal. Oh my God!
It's the man, the myth, the legend, isn't it? Stuart Hogg.
He doesn't deserve the hate. I know Scotland didn't have the best Six Nations, but there was an incident.
I always think he's I do think he's a world-class player. I think you can't you can't deny. You know, anyone who does anything wrong in this world, and they get so much in the rugby game, they get so much hate and abuse. You know, after the England Charlie got the red card, and the amount of hatred he got on social media for that, and you just think it's just not worth it. Do you know?
I was saying this to one of my friends yesterday. I don't understand where just fans, like sporting fans in general, can go from, oh, he missed a kick to, damn it, I hope you die. I don't know how you click that.
It's such a jump. And I think this is where, and oh God, this is another conversation for another day, but this is where I think social media just gets out of hand, because people don't see the effect of what they do, and they just think they can say anything, and because they're frustrated and stuff like that. And it is just pretty awful, you know, people telling other people to go kill themselves. It's a rugby game. It's a rugby game.
It's a game of rugby.
Calm down. Do you know what I mean? We're all captain, we all win, but the game of rugby. At the end of the day, we'll go home to the same thing, and we'll just carry on with our lives, and then we do the same thing next weekend. There's just no point. You know, it's just it is a little bit ridiculous. It's getting a little bit ridiculous, and I just think, why? It's unnecessary. Also because these guys are and women, because the women's game gets just as much hate. They're the best at what they do. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They're international players. They're there for a reason. They deserve to be there. They are clearly better than us average like pundits. They know what they're doing. They've played rugby their whole life, but we are all humans and we do all make mistakes on pitches, and it happens. And doesn't take away anything from them being, great players. And when when people are like, oh, they're shit, they shouldn't even be on the England team, and I'm like, who are you to judge?
Exactly.
Who are you
Yeah,
to judge
exactly.
that?
I think I kind of say it like I wouldn't have picked them, but I'm not the coach. That's not my call.
Yeah. You
I
don't see
did get it I got it really weird during the Guinness Six Nations. I even not so much the TikTok women Six Nations, but like I'll do here's my predicted squad for the upcoming game, and then I'll do a reaction to the actual squad, and people will comment on the reaction to the actual squad like, oh, why is this player and why is I'm not the coach. I don't know.
I don't think him. Yeah. That wasn't my choice. I wasn't in those meetings. Sorry. Yeah.
I was like, sorry, I'm not the spokesperson for Gregor Townsend.
I just think, yeah. But what the thing is, like, Stuart Hogg just as a world-class player, you can't, the things he's done with Chiefs, the things he's done with the Scottish team, I still think the Scottish team are better than they were, the men's Scottish team are better than they were 5-6 years ago. I think
100%.
And 100%. I think they're looking, stronger season on season. I just think people expect. I think the thing is, when people always expect results overnight. Yeah. It's like people always expect contracts to come in and people to be better the next day, and it doesn't happen like that. Like, things need time, and infrastructure needs to be set up, and routine needs to be made. It doesn't just happen overnight,
Exactly. But that kind of leads on to the women that go about getting them contracts. Like, Scotland women are really good.
Yeah, really good.
But just imagine how good they would be if that was their full-time job.
Yeah, 10 times better. Yeah. Naturally, if you have, if you go from having 10 hours, not saying these are real figures, but if you have 10 hours in a week to go and focus on something, compared to if you had a contract having 30 hours a week to go and concentrate on something, that's a huge difference. That's so much time to work on things. That's better injury recovery time. That's better, strength and conditioning. That's better. It's better everything.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm sorry to say this, but your beloved Quins got beat in the Champions Cup.
Oh, yeah.
They could pull it back. They could pull it back because Quinn. I will never write off Quins after that season. After last season when they beat Bristol Bears from the death twice.
You can't, yeah.
And then went on to win the Prem against my Chiefs, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, but you can't say that. Get that final between Chiefs and Quins was great.
It was fantastic. But 40-26 to Montpellier. Zach Mercer, the one that got away for England, absolutely crucial.
I mean, I would have loved to have seen them win, but with the score 42-26, I don't think it was gonna happen.
Not impossible though at the Stoop next week.
You're at the Stoop next week? Did you say
that's the return. They've kind of done
it's a return fixture. Yeah.
It's aggregate scores now go take you through, so it's not impossible.
It's not impossible. And also I think after their season they had when they won the Prem, anything is possible. Exactly. Anything is possible with Quins. I just do with them Joe Marchant. He went to my college. He was in I think he was in was he the year below me or something? I know his dad. It's so nice. It's so nice to see him just thriving on a professional level too. He's doing so well. I have to be Quins. In the men's game. In the women's game, I'm affiliated to no one because I just love women's rugby. So I just watching everyone. But I'd say
I will just say I'm affiliated to Exeter Chiefs ladies as well, just because I'm an Exeter. It's just easier.
I do get that. I've got quite a few friends who play for Exeter Chiefs, so I've got some friends who play Saris. So I just think the best thing this year, especially with the restructuring of the women's game, is the Premiership has been a lot closer, and so in the women's game, there's been some absolutely cracking game of rugby, and I feel like some men should watch some of those games and then come and have a conversation about women's rugby, because some of those games are absolute nail biters, and you always know that the final or the Premiership is going to be wicked.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of more milestones, Exeter Chiefs ladies are in their first semi-final of the Premier
which is
15.
insane. Yeah, it's insane. But they've had such a, I mean, ever since they've had such a great season, like couple of seasons. They're looking really sharp. I think they have got a good. On any given day, Exeter Chiefs have beaten some of the best teams in the league. So like last season, they beat Saracens, they beat I think Quins. I think they beat Wasps as well. Like, you know, on any given day, they can win against anyone, and that's what it's so tactical, this game now. You know, like it's teams are beating teams that shouldn't be beaten, and I think they've got just as much chance as anyone else. But I also think, you know, Sarri's looking strong. Plus the Quins are in it, aren't they? I think Quins are looking.
Yeah, Quins.
And Loughborough or Bristol?
No, I think it's Bristol.
Bristol. I think it's. Yeah, it was a spot for last place. Yeah, all great teams. I mean, like Bristol players, I wouldn't want to mess with Sarah Byrne and like Simi Pan front row. Like they're looking like Sarah Byrne at the weekend in the England game. Like that girl can shift. Like she is just an absolute.
Yeah, try against that little last week was frightening.
Yeah. Oh.
Bump
brilliant.
1, bump 2, keep going.
Oh, when she just and she has, and I was like, and the speed on her. So, you know, I think between those 4 teams, there's going to be some absolutely great games of rugby. You're going to see some epic tries. So I think Exeter Chiefs have got just as good of a chance as anyone else, though.
Yeah, why not? Actually, just because you mentioned like how frightening Sarah Byrne was, do you know who actually terrifies me?
Who?
From the women's game, Madus Soufal,
Yeah.
the second row for France. Oh my god, she's taller than me.
She's so tall. She's so tall, and I'm like, oh god, she can't just reach out. She can just pick me up. I think like
her bio says 6'1". Now I'm 6'1", and I was standing relatively close to her yesterday. I was like, bullshit. Like you're not 6'1", you're 6'3" and a half, maybe.
Yeah, I think she's an absolute unit. And whoever came on for her, I think is it Ndaye? Ndaye? I can't
yeah, I think
she's another one that absolutely I would not want to even go near.
No.
They both look like absolute machines.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of just of machines, Jade Conco, number 8 for Scotland. Oh my god.
That girl is doing things. She's excellent for her country. She's excellent for club. Like she was key. She's such a key player to any team. She's an absolute unit. And I think I'm hoping she's okay, because I thought she looked like she picked up a little niggle yesterday, but she looks like she's fine.
She said she was all right. I did message Jade, just like, oh, it was good to like watch you play again.
Yeah.
And like, hope the shoulder's okay. Yeah, it's fine. It was just more a precaution thing. I'm good, because we can't have you ruled out. We already lost Emma Lasso.
I know, and that sounded. What did she do? Do we know?
She tore her ligaments in the wrist. I was like, yeah, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it. That's like one of those frustrating things. Probably that's one of those ones that's probably like you feel like you could probably play, but you shouldn't be playing, and it's like
that's what she said. She went, I probably could, if I really wanted to, I probably could have played, but it's just not worth it. I'm like, no. And she was in a big like thick cast yesterday. So I'm like, there's no way you were going to get to play with that on. Yeah.
I think it's just, It's sad because there's been quite a few bad injuries over the weekend, like Abidal breaking the leg. That's a huge loss. And like, I was watching that, and you just like, you heard the scream, and God, like it was just, you felt so sorry for her. And I hope she has a really speedy recovery. And I think she's got the whole of England wishing her the best wishes. But there's some absolutely incredible players. Like, and it'd be hard to just name a few. I think there's some great like up and coming talent. I think like Morden Muir, like one of the props.
Yeah.
Like she's looking insane. Sadie Cabea again for England. Like that. Like the future is bright.
Yes. If you really watch it, I think I might get the dates wrong. I think on Wednesday is the Under-18 Women's Six Nations Festival up at Edinburgh. It's in Edinburgh, so if you're around, go to that.
I might be out. It might be a bit of a way to go after work, but if I can.
But if you're up, give me a shout.
Yeah, I mean, I'll end up. You can watch them though, can't you? I'm pretty sure I've watched one. I think you can watch them.
I think it'll be a live stream thing on YouTube.
I've watched a couple of them in the past, and I've seen them. I've gone to see some games in the past, and again, they're always really good games to watch. But yeah, I think it's just the game in England, if we're just talking about England, is that a really great place.
Yeah.
In terms of development and how many girls like come through the system, and it would be so great to see that across all the countries in the Six Nations.
Yeah, absolutely. I think my big point was, I said this to my fiance. So at the end of the game, you've got like everyone trying to meet the players, including myself. But that's more because I know, like, I speak to some of them, so it's more just like a friendly catch-up sort of thing. But you've got like hundreds of little girls like wanting them to sign the tops, and I was like, this is what you need. You don't want to go up to a little girl and be like, who's your favourite player, and to say like Finn Russell or Stuart Hogg. They want to say Rona Lloyd, Helen Nelson, Rachel Malcolm. And it'll be the same down in England. You'll be like, oh, who's your favourite? Emily Scarrett, Helena Rowland, Abby Dow.
Insane players, and like you say, it's funny you say that, because when we talk about the England Wales game and my rugby club, which is Trojans in Southampton, like we, the club president organised for big groups from the under 13s, under 15s, and under 18s, and the ladies all to go. So we had this huge section of like 30, 35 people, as many tickets like as we could get. We went to watch a game, and like you say, like it's great. It's a great day for it's a great day for the ladies, but it's a great day for the younger ones who get to see, who otherwise probably wouldn't get to see their heroes play. So getting them exposed to that, and it's something that we really work at our club, is getting the girls up through the age groups. There's kind of a time at under 18 when actually you get like a lot of dropout, because people either go to university or they give up, or there's like social pressures for them to give up. So we really try to like work on that bond between the under 18 and the ladies especially.
That's quite good. I think I said this last week to Gemma that the team I play for, we've got quite a good link. So like I'll get a message on like a Friday night from the first team captain, like, look boys, the Quins are playing on Sunday at home. If you're not doing anything, get down, because they come and watch us. Yeah. Simple stuff.
It's really great. Like I just think there's obviously still a way to go.
Yeah.
A long way to go, but I think it will get there. It's just going to take time and effort from everyone who's like, and I don't know if you've watched like recently, I don't know if you've watched it, but like the No Woman No Try.
I love it. I loved it. I put it on I shared it on my story on Instagram, just like, watch it, because women's rugby is here, and if you're not accepting it, you're going to be left behind. And it's as simple as that. It
was really incredible. Like I was lucky enough and like honoured enough to be invited to like the screening of that happened before it was released. And there was just some absolutely incredible women in the room. Like I felt so honoured just to be like among them. And it's if you haven't watched it, everyone go and watch it, because it's really eye opening, and it just really talks about the inequalities that I think every single women's rugby players experience from grassroots all the way up to international level.
The bit that got me, without spoiling it to people that haven't watched it, was the shorts. I didn't laugh like hilariously laugh. Like I kind of like laughed at, that's not real.
I
was like, and
it's embarrassing. It is. It's embarrassing that
like nodding her head like proper, and I'm like, I need to ask, like, what is and she was explaining the difference to me, and I'm like, just do it then. Like, why are you giving men's shorts to women?
And it's embarrassing that a club like, and unfortunately it was like a club like Quins couldn't even just pay for a women's kit.
Yeah,
does that make sense? Like I'm not saying that kit is cheap, but like to put a women's team in men's kit, like, come on, like, that's stuff that we wouldn't expect, I think, in this day and age in the game.
It's just so bizarre.
And they were just saying, like, and the shirts were so big on them, and you're just thinking, like, come on, like, improve the standard. That's like just not okay. And I think that's the thing though. Every grassroots level club can relate to that. Like that documentary will resonate with so many people, like at the grassroots level. But it's things that people have said for a long time, but no one's ever made it public. And I think that was the great thing about the No Women No Try, is that it's coming from people who have power within the game. And Victoria Rush has done like an absolute phenomenal job, and all credit to her for creating that. So yeah, everyone should go and watch that. It was incredible.
Exactly.
Yes,
you've hit it right on the head, and what a way to end this episode.
Yes.
Next week, I'm trying to think what I've got next week. We have got Charlie coming on. I've already can you accept it a bit? No. Yeah. Charlie is with us next week discussing round 4 of the TikTok Women's Six Nations. We've got another jam-packed because it's the return fixtures for the Champions Cup. And we've got the first knockout stages of the Challenge Cup. We have the legend Sean Maloney from Fox Sports Australia, or Stan Sport now.
Amazing.
We had that interview. I recorded that a few weeks ago. That will be out on Thursday or Friday this week. It was an absolute blast. I can't hype up enough. Yeah, thank you for everyone that listens. Go over to our YouTube, subscribe, because we're getting up the ranks quite quickly. We're getting more subscribers each week, which is fantastic. Follow us on Spotify if you don't want to see our face but just want to listen. Follow us. You can follow the podcast page on Instagram. You can follow us all separately on Instagram as well, and same for TikTok as well. But this has been the Rugby Connection with Anja, and we will see you next time.